My name is Alan Karioki Mwangi. I'm the chairperson of Small Axe Environmental CBO. Small Axe Environmental CBO is a community-based organization that majors in environmental conservation, specifically rehabilitation of Gatharaine River. Gatharaine River borders Kiambu County and Nairobi County at the Roysambu-Githurai intersection. It was formed in 2010 and formally registered in 2012. Our works were mainly inspired by John Michuki, the late John Michuki, when he started rehabilitation of Nairobi River by cleaning up Nairobi River and planting trees along Nairobi River, and eventually it became Michuki Park. So this park is as old as Michuki Park. We became involved in Sikiliza Sauti Yetu Dunia Inaita project when we were approached by Organization of African Youth. We first of all came across some documents, some online documents via social media, and upon filling the documents, we were reached out by the staff of OAY, and they visited our ground, and from there I can say the rest is history, because what we were doing synchronized with the theme and the objectives of the project. That is how we connected with OAY, and I can say that since then there have been very meaningful engagement, especially some trainings for capacity building and exchange visits for experience sharing. Sana sana environmental challenges zenye tulikuwa tuna face ni wakati wa clean up. Kuna watu walikuwa na umia sababu ya collecting things without proper protection like PPEs, without proper protections like PPEs. So after some capacity building lessons, we were taught and came to know how to handle different types of waste so that we cannot fall victims of the good work that we're doing. There were gaps that some were addressed partially by Sikiliza Sauti Yetu. So we still need those capacity building sessions. The gaps that were there were mainly lack of information. Most of our members, as much as we were doing conservation work and we were advocating for sustainable waste management practices, we didn't have the requisite information to become good advocates of the issue, because the information was scanty and the trainings really delved deeper into the issue. Mainly it was our members, but since our project and our headquarters is a social place, we have taken advantage of the people who patron the park and those who come for sports activity around the ground to advocate for the same issues. So being a social area, we have taken advantage of the numbers that come in from time to time. Our works were traditionally deemed that it is dirty work, manual work, that most women were afraid to take part in. But after the trainings and engagements, frequent engagements, we have started seeing ladies and women in the activities, because they find their place. Like we could be doing a manual tasking activity, and they could be probably doing the communication part of it. So in one way or another, they get to participate. Mostly I was inspired by projects from other CBOs during the exchange visits and experience sharing, and they solidified our passion and conviction for environmental conservation. From the many exchange visits, or the few that I went, I learned that we should appreciate our project much more, because out there are people who are trying to get to our level, and even we should be aware of the advantages that we have of space. We really have a massive space of conservation compared to other informal settlements within Nairobi County, and we are reaching out to people who would want to plant trees, who would want to partner in this climate action, to come at our place, because there is plenty of space that you could adopt and do a good work towards climate justice. I can say that I have improved on as much as I'm the chairman, I still head the resource mobilization team. So there are some updates that I got when in proposal writing and when you are seeking for resources from different partners. We have started innovating in ways of climate action and especially advocacy. Like recently, we started art hangouts. These art hangouts started as a bamboo value addition hangouts, but they metamorphosized into other forms of climate justice, like repurposing. The piece that I'm holding here, you can see that it is waste material that has been repurposed. It is mainly cloth, and through the trainings that OAY have taken us through, we have come to realize that most of the waste that we come across, it has now slightly stopped being plastic. It is now clothing. Yeah. So we have started art hangouts, and now I think we have done like 7 art hangouts where we mobilize local artists, both professional and amateurs. They come and do their work. We have beadwork, we have painting, we have drawing. And as I said, our place is a social place. So you find us engaging a lot of children when they come for sporting activities. They have even identified this place as an art zone. So they come even when we don't have hangouts, and they ask for whether there will be some activity or not. So we are innovating on that front. There is a significant change in community ownership of the project, because earlier there were conflicts between us and farmers downstream, because we used to plant trees and they are doing their farming activities along the riparian. So walikuwa wanaona sisi ni threat, so tuko unapanda miti unapata wameng'oa. But sasa through hizi interactions za polepole za vile farming activities karibu na mto zina loosen soil and they cause it to erode, hata kuharibu mali yao, they have come to appreciate. And siku hizi tukipanda miti hawang'oi, unapata mboga zake zinamea na miti pia zinamea. Apart from that, distance yenye wamewacha kutoka kwa mto mpaka mahali wanaanza kulima sasa ni tofauti, because earlier walikuwa wanaenda mpaka karibu na mto. Community forums zenye tumekuwa sana ni za public participation, especially the county, mainly on different papers that they draft, especially the annual development plan. Tumeshaenda ya CFSP. Now this time round we used to be mobilized and go, but this time round tumeona shift kidogo, kwa sababu sio sisi peke yetu, pia zile groups tumekuwa tukimit kwa hii exchange visits organized by OAY. We have been meeting them in those platforms. Na apart from making oral submissions, mmetufundisha kwamba tunafaa kuwa na written submissions zenye at least hata unaweza follow up later on whether project imekuwa kwa venye mlikuwa mnataka. So public participation imeenhance. Watu wameacha kuenda sababu ya watu wameanza kuenda sauti zao kusikika. The change is important to me and my organization kwa sababu actually through hizo public participation there is a section that we learned that the county government, sijui section 33 ama nini ya County Act, county government inafaa kutumia non-state actors to implement some of their projects. And that was my main takeaway. Nikakuja nikaona sisi kama Small Axe, kazi tunafanya ni account. So wanafaa either kuwork na sisi, na of course wakiwork na sisi we see that resources zitakuja kwetu. So even ndio niliona Small Axe tunaweza saidika. And then being pioneers of this riverine conservation, tunafaa kudocumentiwa kama best practice by the county, by the national government. Having said that, kuna vitu nisasema kwamba Trufena Mudhod, the lady who hugged a tree for 72 hours, is a member of Small Axe or was a member. Sasa ashaburuka. Sasa hata kumfikia mimi mwenyewe kachi yani ngumu. Ile mti ya pili pale ndiye alikuwa anafanya practice nao ya kuhug 72 hours. This was our place. Our plans zetu kwanza tulilearn tunafaa kuwa na strategic plan yenye itakuwa ina-inform mambo zetu, sio venye traditional tumekuwa tukipanga events za mwaka mmoja. So sasa hii tumelan kwamba tunafaa kuwa na strategic plan, na we are reaching out to Organization of African Youth watusaidie sisi kama Small Axe. Pia unajua ni shughuli nataka facilitation, tukae chini watusaidie kutengeneza nini. As much as tuko na hiyo knowledge theoretically, we like now to implement it in our organization. Ndio hata kama tutafikia OAY tuko tu hapo nyuma yao tunafuata nyayo. We have identified ways of sustainability, and of course ni identifying partners, and the way those partners you can reach out to them for specific resources or facilitation. It would work much better than just sending a blanket request to all of them. Now that the climate change is the cross-cutting issue, I would like to encourage more advocacy, because sasa ile tunafanya shughuli zetu za mazingira huku, unaanza kuongelea mambo ya climate change, unapata watu wawili watatu hata hawezi explain what is climate change, including members of my group. But kwa akili yao wanajua tu ni kuharibu mazingira na vile inafaa kutengenezwa. But ndio, so that people can get to act, they must first of all get the information. So we need more advocacy lessons within and without the community, kwa sababu tukazipeleka mpaka kwa hizi level kidogo za community barazas, chiefs barazas, at least tutaanza hiyo conversation, itaanza kuzungumziwa mtaani. Ikishazungumziwa mtaani, people will know now how to react. Penye nimesema, because of the updated proposal writing skills that tumelearn from OAY na organizations zingine, we have been able to mobilize some resources. Kama vile mnaona, this place is under construction. Back in 2024 tulikuwa na massive floods zenye zili affect the whole country, but after that our park, in fact mali tumesimama, was completely submerged. Ilikuwa mto, the river had busted its banks na kukakuwa kubaya. So tukakuja tukajiuliza kama kikundi, how now will we mitigate the severe effects of flood, especially kwa project yetu. That is how we mobilized our local MCA, anaitwa Honorable Donna Kendi Anapiu. Asante sana madam. And she mobilized an excavator which we used to drench the river for 3 kilometers, because the problem of flooding was being caused by shallow levels of the river, caused by overtime siltation, na hizo mvua zote zimekuwa zikinyesha. So after desilting, we now mobilize the community to design the ideal park that they would want. Ndio tukapartner na organization inaitwa Risto Zanai tukaweka forum inaitwa Human Centered Design Forum, mahali kila mtu aliweka maoni yake, na we designed a very beautiful plan for this park, which is now we have started implementing. This section here inaitwa Sungura Zone. As you can see, ni area ya just grounding. Hapa mahali nimesimama is meant for grounding. Unaona kuna mchangarawe, people to come barefoot. So kuna plan, a whole plan yenye ilitengenezwa na architect, which includes a children playing area, kuna natural playing area, kuna outdoor gym, kuna another sanitation facility. And sasa hii ndio tunazunguka nayo tukiomba partners, tukitafuta partners wa kuimplement hiyo plan. Yeah.